The Philadelphia 76ers. Swiper, I'm going to start with you, and I want you to talk to me about the Philadelphia 76ers. What are your thoughts about this current team? What are your expectations with this team? And who are you most looking forward to seeing?
Excuse me. Well, number one, I shared this on Twitter the other day. 76ers fans were somehow mad about it. I think the 76ers have done a really good job of putting all NBA talent around Embiid. I think, for me, that says they're trying. You know, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, and then Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, and now Tyrese Maxey, Paul George. They're swinging. They're constantly swinging, trying to find the right, iteration of this team. And I think this team is very talented. I think Caleb Martin's going to be a really solid gift for them. I think Kyle Lowry off the bench. I think that they have, obviously, Eric Gordon. I think getting Andre Drummond back was big, those non-Embiid minutes. So I do think that they're going to be a very good team. You know, like I said, this really comes down to Embiid's health. I think Maxey's going to be a dog, whenever he goes into a playoff setting, just because he has the skill set to translate. He's so much faster than everybody. But, if Embiid is playing well, and I think if he's playing intelligently well, late game situations consistently, they can beat anybody. Just the problem is going to be, when they get him in space versus the Knicks, to get him in space versus the Celtics, that's the stuff he'll struggle with. Maybe even the Pacers, we'll just have to see how they line up with everybody. But there's definitely a path for them to make it to the NBA Finals for sure. But it's going to be contingent on how Embiid feels and how he's thinking through the game consistently throughout the playoffs. Because he had some, even this last, he averaged 36 a game. He had 2 points, he tried to bait a foul instead of going for a layup. Embiid just has to get some of that out of his system. But hopefully he can. They can make a real run, and I think Maxey's going to show up. I think I don't think y'all think I'm tripping. I think 76ers fans are going to find out real quickly, how much Paul George can oscillate between being this really great player and what are you doing? Why do you only have 8 points? You seem to be folding a little bit. Talent-wise, as we were talking about, he's incredibly talented. But I think he's getting older. He's a little bit more injury prone, but he can also be a real serious factor for them because he was right up there with Jason Tatum 2 years ago as one of the best spot-up three-point shooters in the league. Mm-hmm. And if he can get back to that with this team, and then also having, obviously Kelly Oubre and stuff on the roster, I think they can be real solid. So there's definitely a path for the finals for them, but right now I think they're going to be out in the second round.
Okay. Mars.
We're going to the finals. It was that simple. We're going to the finals. Embiid going to be healthy this year. We lost the weight, so we locked in. Paul George in his natural habitat of we aren't going to put too much on him. We got Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, who are going to be the primary shot creation. He's all he's going to be asked to do is make spot up threes, movement threes, and then attack 2 dribbles off a closeout. That's all he's going to be asked to do. We're not going to be asking him for isolations. We're not going to be asking him to run high pick and rolls very often. He's just got to play off Embiid's gravity, play off Tyrese Maxey's ability to get into the paint and that drive and dish. So he's in his comfort zone. Defensively, he can still bring high-level value, especially with a lower offensive load. So we're going to get a high level of Paul George defense, I think, just in terms of team defense. I don't think he's going to be asked to be a point of attack stopper, but that's Kelly Oubre's role. That's fine. Caleb Martin, very good spot-up shooter. Kelly Oubre, if we can get a good shooting season from him, that would be great. I'm already hearing Nick Nurse say good things about Jared McCain, all the things that I said about him pre-draft in terms of the energy he plays with, the hustle, the shooting ability, all of those things, they seem to be translating, especially in practice. So I expect him to be part of the rotation long term. I don't know if he's going to start the season that way, but I think he'll be a part of it. Kyle Lowry, better passer than Russell Westbrook, obviously. So that nice calming presence that's going to be there, just being able to run the offense, keep things in check. And Nick Nurse, top three coach in the Eastern Conference. Top 3 coach in the Eastern Conference. That's a great thing to have in a playoff series. Obviously the elephant in the room is going to be the other team in this division, who are the main contenders. The other team is also a contender, but the main contenders, no, the one who are the champions right now. That's the elephant in the room. That's who they've got to beat. And I'm gonna be honest. What is it that Chill says? My best player better than your best player. I'm gonna have to subscribe to that because that's the only way I see them winning, if I'm being honest. But we got them. Philly in 6. That's what we're going to the finals. Philly in 6.
I just want to make sure, Ox, that I didn't. I know I'm getting a little bit older. I just want to make sure that I heard him correctly when he started the conversation when he said we go into the finals. Did he not say that?
They my Eastern Conference team. That's no surprise.
We go into the finals. Capital W, small H, small O, small R, small E. Exclamation!
Oh, damn! I was wondering what you were spelling.
Here, this one right here. No,
and you wonder why I'm not friends with you guys. You wonder
100%.
Ron putting up a poll.
Anybody.
Ron putting up a poll earlier. I seen that poll.
100%.
Chill calling me every insult under the sun. Ox letting it slide. Swiper lying about a friendship.
Hey, Morris, my thing is, it ain't nothing wrong with shooting that thing up. It ain't nothing wrong with getting out in the streets and getting busy.
I was thinking to myself,
wrong with being a hoe.
How would this
being a hoe, Morris?
Like, in a perfect world, Morris, how would this go if the 76ers, who you think are going to be in the NBA championship, how would this go if they ended up meeting Houston in the finals? How would you explain that?
Wait, they play Houston in the finals?
Yes.
Houston in 5. Easy. Houston in 5. We get to the finals. Houston in 5.
Okay.
Like I've made this abundantly clear. Houston is my team. My Eastern Conference team, Philly. Houston don't make the playoffs. My Western Conference team, OKC. I've made that abundantly clear. Those are my 3 teams. My East Coast team. My the team that I like. Then it becomes players. Then we got Lonzo. We got Ben Simmons. We got Shaden Sharp. So like I'll root for like them. So in like turn, I want their team.
I'm so sad that Swiper has left because he said this criminally insane thing, and I just wanted to call him out on it, and now he's gone. Come back.
There you go, right there.
Okay,
it's right there.
What you said about Paul George, I swear to God, I thought I lost my mind. I thought you were describing Tobias Harris. You said every now and again he's going to have 8 points, and makes you think, what is he doing?
Sound like Tobias, don't it?
Hold on, it does sound like Tobias. So I had to think about it. To the chat out there,
I like Tobias.
How many times in the last year do you think Paul George scored single digits when playing over 30 minutes?
Once.
I'll say 10 times.
Last year?
Yeah, last year. According to Swiper, he's like super inconsistent, right? That's kind of what you were saying.
Games where
including the NBA playoffs. Yeah, he is inconsistent.
Maybe twice, maybe none. But I'll say
Ox is right. It was once. It was once.
Okay.
And can you guess the team that it happened against?
Philly.
The Raptors.
It happened against Denver. That's how I know you're not watching Paul George. Okay.
So did you watch Paul George in the first round last year?
I'm not claiming to be a Paul George expert, bro.
I'm asking you, did you watch him in the first round?
He had one game below 10 in the playoffs too.
Stay on subject.
No, I am staying on subject, but I'm asking, did you watch him in the first round last year especially when Kawhi went down in the first round versus the Mavs? Did you watch that series?
He had one single digit game against Dallas.
Yes. So you do realize.
Oh, so I was right. 2 games over the course of the season.
When you ask Clippers fans about their experience with Paul George, for a player that talented, he is wildly inconsistent, especially in situations like that. You are going. Oh my
God!
When he's overexerted.
Not just. I think you can get stuck on 8. You can get stuck on. It's not about the number. It's about the way he plays and impacts the game. That's what's going to be the thing that oscillates. It's not just the 8 points. It's the fact that when he gets to these shots, he's going to dribble into more contested shots than he needs to. He could be a very good pull-up, spot-up three-point shooter should he choose to utilize that. He cannot get to the rim consistently like he used to, in large part due to injury and age. There are going to be multiple things that you will notice over the course of time with PG to say he should be better than what he is right now. I think he's a very good player, but he's still going to be inconsistent relative to what you expect. That's just what it is.
I just don't like when personal bias is going to color your commentary about who a player is, because
why is it biased to say he's going to be inconsistent?
It's biased to say that he's going to be that somebody is having these very inconsistent fluctuations when literally he was a second or third option on most nights, right?
Which he will be again.
Okay. And I don't think I have a problem with my third option having 8 points in one game in an 82-game season. You know who else?
But you're getting stuck on the points. I'm bringing up his play as a whole. I just named 4 different things.
Stay on subject.
I am on subject.
Did you know who had 4 single-digit games last year?
4
single-digit scoring games?
Let's hear it, Pin.
The MVP of the league, Nikola Jokic.
One of them's that Pistons game.
Paul George is a great defender. Even at
Didn't he
this
have
age,
a 4 point 16 assist?
didn't he get
game
thrown
last
Yeah,
out
the
of that game?
Pistons game. The
Oh.
Pistons game.
Oh.
No,
Yes,
no, I'm talking
against
about the
the
Pistons game when they were up by
so
600.
we're
and he
not
was just
using
But why are you
oh,
bringing up Joker when you know that's not even the same conversation?
because according to you, scoring 8 points every now and again makes you
For
inconsistent.
Paul George, a primary scorer as opposed to the best playmaker in the league and passing.
But he only did it one time, though, Swiper. That's the point.
No, but I think you're getting. But again, I don't know where this.
Paul George's
Again,
value
let me
is just an
let me
all-around
expand
player.
this
Paul
because
George-
apparently
hold
people
on.
are getting lost on just the points.
Paul
It's
George
not
is
just
not
going to be
just
his
a scorer.
scoring. So again, because I have watched Paul George, especially in the last
You
several
have?
playoff runs,
Used to me.
Yep.
and you did not versus the Mavericks. I'm telling you what
You think I
Clippers
didn't watch
fans
the
have said,
Mavericks? Bro, I
including
talked-
what the coaches also said.
Mhm.
That man did need to do more than what he did, and because he didn't, they got smoked. And even with Kawhi going down, had James Harden over the course of that series had a number 2 option that was more consistent, they could have won that series. That's
Oh my
simple.
God.
But he wasn't consistent enough. And you can go watch the games back if you want. Should you
Did they-
choose
did
to
they-
watch basketball in the
did-
Western Conference, and then you'll see what I'm talking
So,
about.
Swiper, what are we talking about when we
It's
talk about
still true.
inconsistent? So, Swiper, what are we talking about when we talk
Casual
about
is
inconsistent?
to assume
Paul
everyone
George
else is
isn't gonna be
casual. I'm not
asked to be
casual. I
Philly's
watched the
second
Western
shot
Conference
creator.
playoffs.
Well,
Jesus,
Swiper, just a quick question, Swiper. When you talk about his inconsistencies, all right, because we do have to talk about production, sure. But when you talk about inconsistencies, are we talking about his ability to create shots, his ability to
Create Scott. So let me name this for you because again, as somebody who's
'Cause I-
watched Paul George religiously,
sure.
create
You
shots,
don't watch him
make
religiously.
shots,
Stop lying.
spot up shooting, dribbling in a
don't watch
contested
him.
shot. His defense is inconsistent because he's not as good on ball as you project him to be. He
Oh,
can be
Lord.
very good on ball, but if Paul George gets lazy in his reads and what he's doing off ball, he'll give up more points than you
You
expect
covered
him
the
to.
Denver Nuggets.
There's multiple.
Your 3-star players are all worse defenders than him by far. What are we
Wait,
talking
hold on. Wait, what did you say?
You cover the
all
Denver
3
Nuggets.
of your star players on Denver, including your new 4th player, which is Russell Westbrook, are all worse defenders than Paul George.
What does that have to do? That's the dangerous game
He's
y'all
the
play with
three.
me.
I
What
don't
does that
like
have to
when
do with
Clippers
Paul
go.
George playing for the Clippers?
It has to do with the fact that you are saying that one player is inconsistent defensively when he is providing excellent value.
But you
that
brought up
trumps
3 Denver
any
Nuggets.
player
Why
on
did you
your
bring up the
team.
Nuggets?
Because you cover the Nuggets and you don't cover them the way that you're covering him.
But why?
You're not
But
talking
if
about-
I just asked you, did you watch the first round series versus the Mavericks? You said no, and I'm
I didn't
naming
say
you
no.
what happened in that series.
I didn't say no. I didn't say no. And
I
actually
asked you
watched it.
multiple times. Did you watch that series?
I'm trying to keep you on topic, Swiper.
I'm not off
gonna- I'm not
topic.
gonna-
I'm very clear. I said he was
Right.
inconsistent. I'm naming why he's inconsistent. I gave you a series in which he was inconsistent.
Did they win without Kawhi?
You mean
No, they
did they
didn't.
win? The
Did they
point
win a
was,
game- did they win a game without
you
Kawhi?
obviously missed what I said. Had James Harden had more help from Paul George, they could have won the series.
So can we agree? So can we agree with what Paul George is in Philadelphia? Can we agree that I feel like he's in the consummate number 3 role, and his inconsistencies that you talk about can be minimized considering what he's going to have to do? He's not going to have to do what he had to do with the Clippers because he's in the 3 role. With him being in the 3 role, Maxey, who I think his shot creation is going to improve this year, I'm very interested to see how Nick Nurse is going to use Joel Embiid to help him increase and improve his ability to pass out of the post. I think that could get better. I'm not going to say substantially better, but I do think that it'll improve. Now, when you add in Paul George, who I think is the consummate number 3 in this particular situation, I think his inconsistencies can be
What
minimized.
was he with the Clippers?
What I don't like
in
is
the
that if
playoffs,
Paul
the number
George
2.
ended up being on the Denver Nuggets right now, you'd be telling me he's the best 3-and-D wing in the entire league. Okay,
I would
so
not.
that's-
I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't lie to you. That's the difference. I have no reason to lie to you.
You
Like
just
me
said
saying,
you
that's
watched
like me
Paul
saying,
George religiously.
that's like
and
me
you called
saying
him
Jamal
super
Murray's the best
inconsistent.
pull-up shooter in the league. That doesn't make any sense. Why would I lie to you?
I don't know if there was a conversation about
Who
that.
is the best?
He's
3-and-D
one of the
wing? Who is
15
the
best
3-and-D
shooters in
wing?
the league. I have no issue with that. Best
Pull-up
pull-up
shooter?
shooter in the league? No.
Who's
It
the
was a
best 3-and-D
conversation.
wing in the league?
You have no problem
In the
calling Jamal
league,
Murray the best shooter in the league.
I'd never.
Right, hear
Why
that.
would I say he's no Pin? You just heard what I 15 top 5. That's the thing. I don't exaggerate. The only people that don't like what I say
No, I
when I
just
talk
misheard
about
you. I
Jokic
just
being the
misheard you.
best player.
When
in
he,
the world.
hold on, before
I
we
said
go any
he's
further,
50.
I
just
didn't-
so you
I
know,
didn't
Swiper,
exaggerate
when he's healthy and the way he was playing, I don't know if I can name 15 pull-up shooters better than Jamal Murray.
No, I said shooters. Period.
Jamal
Oh,
Murray-
so
Pure
overall
shooters.
shooters. Okay.
Tatum
Overall-
and for
overall
instance,
shooters.
Tatum's a better 3-and-D wing player than he is. Easy.
3. Tatum. Okay, 3. Okay,
Easy.
Interesting. 3.
Well, this is what I'm asking. What I'm asking is the role that Paul George is in, because the role he was in initially with the Clippers, James Harden was supposed to be the distributor and the scorer.
Ox, say it on the stage, Ox.
And he was supposed to be
Get out the chat and say it on the stage, son.
He was supposed to be the distributor and the scorer later. It was supposed to be Leonard, George. That's why you brought James Harden in to do what Russell Westbrook was doing, set better. That's why you brought him in. So now he's in Philadelphia, where again, Maxey, who's going to be a better shot creator, getting downhill, being better in transition. You got Joel Embiid, who we run the offense through. So in terms of him as a number 3 scorer, I think he should be in a better position than he was with the Clippers. The problem is I think Joel Embiid is made of glass. That's my issue.
We lost,
but also, and I just want to be clear about this. Like, Embiid has his own playoff struggles. Their most consistent playoff performer, probably most likely due to injuries to Embiid, might be Maxey, because Maxey's just not going to have the same issues he has to work through by next May or April, whenever they go out.
What issues are those?
For who?
What for Maxey? What issues are those?
I don't think Maxey has really any issues. I think he's a very good player who's going to thrive in a playoff setting, because he's really good in half court. He's really good in the full court. He's a great pull-up shooter. He's a great spot-up shooter. He can get to the rim with the best of them at the guard spot, and he's just faster than everybody. That just means a lot, especially in this league when you can't stay in front of somebody because you can't hand check. So he's going to have free reign, and I think when his shot is on chill, he looks like he's a third-team All-NBA player. He's that good. If the shot's not on, then that's a different story. But the issue is Embiid is going to have his issues as a passer, as a playmaker, as a scorer sometimes, because of the type of shots he takes, depending on who they're playing against. And then PG, because of his game, he doesn't have the ability to continue to attack you in isolation like you want him to. And on top of that, he's going to force more difficult shots instead of taking the open ones at times, because that's what he did with the Clippers. But maybe Nick Nurse gets him into a different situation. Well, maybe it changes.
Already did.
Who knows?
That's where the divide is, Swiper, because like you just said, he won't be able to attack as much as he used to. He won't be able to be in isolation as much as he used to. He won't have to be, because the offense is going to be ran through Joel Embiid. And with the offense being ran through Joel Embiid, man, I like the fact that I got a supplemental guy like Paul George as a number 3, where I can go to him, not necessarily regularly, but I could go to him when it's necessary to get a bucket, because he still can do that.
And to Robert's point, he said all third option on, because I don't think PG is an actual third option. I think he's going to be a third option. I think his skill set is designed for someone to be a first or second. First option on a playoff team, second option on a very elite team. I think his skill set, meaning his archetype, should allow for him to do that. I just don't think he is. He's not going to be like that anymore. But I think that's mostly due to age. And
I think he can anchor second units. I think there's a surprising number of players who could pop on their second unit. I like Jared McCain. I think he's going to be a rookie that contributes relatively soon. Adem Bona might be like really deep in their rotation, but
what position does he play, Penn? Really quickly, I want you to keep going. Yeah, what position does he play?
I would say he's a guard. We're
not exclusively putting him at the 1 or putting him at the 2.
No, and I mean, like, look, when you're gonna run your offense through Maxey, like we're in a point in the NBA where the John Stocktons are dying. Right. So you're pretty much putting the ball in LeBron's hand and Luka's hand. You're putting your ball in your best player's hand, Shea's hand. It don't really matter who the point guard is. Right. So what you need is guys who can kind of extend the advantage. Right. Now, Paul George cannot create the advantage the way he could in Indiana. He can't really create the advantage the way that that Westbrook was creating for him in OKC. So I just think, like, at this point, it's going to be more against second units where he's going to be more of a primary, and then Jared McCain can extend the advantage, right? Like he can come off screens, he can hit some shots. Like I think he could be really good for them. So, and I mean Kelly Oubre, right? Like there's some depth there. It feels super top heavy. Like it feels like a super top heavy team, but there's actually some players on the bench that I really trust, and that's a little bit more than I can say for New York right now, because I really don't trust Precious Achiuwa and Deuce McBride. So I think, like, it will come down to Embiid's health. And when healthy, I think it's fair to say Embiid is the best player in the East. I think that's fair to say. I think it's fair to say that Paul George.
Oh wait, Giannis is in the East. Yo, slow down.
Okay, well, okay. You can say between those two, and I think it's fair to say that Paul George
even in the playoff setting is Tatum out of that.
Yes,
playoff setting.
I'm not factoring for durability. I'm saying if you're healthy, if you're on the court, Embiid's a better player than Tatum. And I like Tatum. And I don't like Embiid. So I'm just trying to be fair about what I'm seeing on the basketball court. I think the Embiid playmaking concerns were really real for me 2-3 years ago. But last year, I saw him become a lot better. You know, I saw him operating, you know, in the mid post. I saw him making reads a little bit faster.
Can he have a 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio?
Even if that's true, Swiper, that still isn't
Progress
terrible.
is not
it's
linear.
not.
Progress
That's
is not
better than what it
linear.
was 3 or 4 years ago.
He's
You
not
are
Jokic.
based-
Well, you mean
that-
2
that's
years
what I'm
ago.
talking,
You
and that's
mean-
what
you mean 2
Swiper
years
is
ago.
doing.
You mean 2 years
Swiper is putting Joel Embiid up in terms of a distributor and a playmaker up to Joker. Joker
No, I'm
may
not. You
Joker,
chill.
yes,
you chill. This
yes,
is
you
no,
are,
chill.
Swiper,
You got
because the minute-
chill. You have to stop saying that. I have never once brought up the two to compare them. Not one time. Nor am I
You
thinking in the
100
same
every
lane.
time we talk about them, we talk about
He's not even. But just bring up
fact,
Giannis. Then just bring up Giannis. I said Giannis. Giannis is a name. He's a better playmaker passer than Embiid. Just bring up Giannis.
Hold on.
He is factually.
Okay, from the
Hold
numbers.
on.
No doubt,
Per,
no doubt.
per
about it.
100 possessions.
well, they
hold on,
play
hold
it,
on.
they play it.
Per 100 possessions as a rookie, Joel
they
Embiid
play a
averaged
different
4
system,
assists. Hold on. Per 100 possessions, Joel Embiid as a rookie averaged 4 assists per 100 possessions. Last year, he averaged 8. That is extremely high for
We're
a
talking
center.
playoffs.
Double.
We're talking playoffs.
I'm not talking playoffs.
Joe and I were talking playoffs.
Okay, sure, we are talking about the playoffs, but Swiper,
In the playoffs, it was 7.2.
So for every
Yes, and then
one,
do the turnovers as well.
for
Yes,
every
go
for
ahead,
every
Joe.
one for every
5.
one for every one
That's
assist.
not 1-to-1.
Yeah, for
I don't
every
know.
one
I don't know how
assist,
they
I'm
teach
turning
math
it
and
back.
But
You're
not,
doing
not,
per
all,
100.
not all turnovers come from playmaking. That's why it's just the
Per
turnover
100 doesn't change the ratio. We talking about elementary math here now?
Right.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. Yeah, the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.